Jab that starts the nation. Melbourne Cup Day will be the start of Australia's march towards COVID freedom. As the latest data reveals, it's the date we will have enough vaccine for herd immunity. A new assessment has shown that by November 2, there will have been enough doses given or available here to protect 80% of the eligible population. Now, you know that it's the worst day to back a horse is Melbourne Cup Day. It's the hardest day to back. Do you reckon we can back the idea that we're actually going to hit this critical point where we can open everything up again by Melbourne Cup Day?
Well, first of all, for the Herald Sun, terrific headline. And I think, look, I think as you say, I think we will. I think we will reach that thing. But what I mean, as I said, I'm an executive producer for a morning show. My views on this program are my own as well. But what I would have liked Scott Morrison to have said with this four-phase plan that he announced earlier in the week, I would have liked him to have said something a little bit more concrete as to the date that we will actually open up and be ready for business. Because I wonder when, I mean, we know that there will not be any vaccine supply problem come November. But as I said earlier in my rambling introduction to you and to all the viewers, but when Australians reach that magic milestone, whatever it will be, will we then be willing to accept that when our country does open up, yes, there will be COVID cases that come in, but like our Prime Minister has said, will we be in the position mentally to accept that we need to deal with COVID-19 as dealing with the flu? I don't know whether we will or whether we won't, and whether things will just keep being pushed out. But I think the line in the sand needs to be drawn to say, right, Australia needs to open up on this date. You need to make sure that you're vaccinated. If you're not, well, then you choose your consequences. But we need to get this country open, because at the moment, your generation is saddled with the $130 billion job seeker and job keeper package that was done. We don't have a money tree. Money doesn't grow on trees, and people are not looking at the economic long-term ramifications of what our well-intentioned actions are doing to this nation.
And I seem to be about the only person under the age of 30 saying that, which is not a good sign. But this madness doesn't just happen in Sydney. If we go to the Newcastle Herald, their headline is "Why Us?" Regional New South Wales will continue under staunch COVID-19 restrictions until at least next week. And some hunter businesses fear they will be the ones counting the cost. Now, hunter businesses are feeling the squeeze of their inclusion in the public health orders despite almost a full year without a case detected in Newcastle or the Hunter. I mean, seriously, how unfair is this stuff, Karalee?
Well, I think it's very unfair, and I think it also shows again, which I've said consistently in other media appearances that I make, that every time a decision for a lockdown is made by a bureaucrat, they're not losing $1 or 1 cent in their income. If they were to lose $1 out of their pay, there would be no more lockdowns in Australia. We came out of our 4-day lockdown this week, and I was hosting on the weekend, and the angle that I took was these small businesses, cafes, pubs, clubs, which have not been allowed to open for the 3 days. It coincides with school holidays over here in Western Australia. All those people, they're hurting. They're hurting. I mean, Western Australia, we've had 3 big lockdowns in the last 5 months, and it's very difficult. And these people, these bureaucrats, these public health officials that are dictating the terms to which normal Australians are having to live, they're not suffering any loss of income. And, you know, grants and things that may be available are minuscule, and the red tape that these businesses have to get through just don't make sense.